Vision Aid provides very critical services like enablement, education, and empowerment. Everybody knows about the cataracts and the surgeries that are needed for the visually impaired people, but not many people know the importance of rehabilitation services, like providing them education, like providing them tools to enable them and to empower them in many ways. So Vision Aid focused on services which will give them independence, improve their productivity, and make them successful in life to fulfill their dreams. We have been providing with many advanced tools like artificial intelligence, smart vision glasses, which make the blind people read in 17 different languages. We provide education in computers and every skill that is necessary for them to succeed in life or to do whatever they want to do. And we empower them in many ways. We work with the state governments, we work with them, we give them the tools, we increase the awareness of the communities and the hospitals and everybody else for the need and the importance of the rehabilitation of the visually impaired in India. This entire journey of rehabilitation and providing all the services to the visually impaired started 20 years ago.
The Vision Aid journey began in 2004 because I had a personal connection and encounter with vision impairment growing up. I also had certain family members who struggled with vision impairment. And, I always had it in my mind that we need to do something for the visually impaired in India because India is home to the largest population of blind and visually impaired people in the world. And so that's how the journey began.
In 2004, Ram's father, Shri M.S. Raju, had just retired from active service in management. And when Ram and I approached him about our idea of starting Vision Aid, he readily agreed to support us. We started by doing a survey of over 100 eye clinics, ophthalmologists and optometrists in and around Vizag. And we were surprised to learn that while they focused on prevention and correction, there was no facility available for vision rehabilitation of people with incurable vision conditions. That's when the idea for Vision Aid solidified, and all of them actually supported us actively in starting a vision rehabilitation center in Visakhapatnam.
About 20 years ago, Ramakrishna Raju and Revati Ramakrishna, who were my friends for a long time, they approached me. They had just founded an organization called Vision Aid, Inc., and they asked me if I would like to join as the president of that organization. Immediately, it struck a chord in me because I had just lost my father a year ago, and over the last few years before he passed away, he was having this low vision problem where he could not see properly. And I thought that's the best way to serve this unmet need. So immediately we jumped into the starting of this organization. The first job we had was how to get the 501c certification. So I knew some lawyers. So I introduced Ram and Revati to that lawyers. And then in a record time, I think about 3 months or so, we could get the 501c certification. So initially, we did not know how to fundraise. So we tried different things. We used to have a stall in larger Indian diaspora organizations like the Indian Association of Greater Boston or some of the regional organizations like the Telugu Association of Greater Boston or Tamil Sangam. And we used to just make people aware of this organization and what it does. So from those early beginnings, it is really very, very gratifying for me to see what it is today with so many centers in India and serving so many people.
June 15th, 2024, we opened the doors to the first Vision Aid Center, which was just a small 2-room center which we opened in my father's house in Vizag. And we reached out to preeminent organizations like LV Prasad Eye Institute and National Institute for the Visually Handicapped in Dehradun to understand what the best practices are, and we try to bring those best practices in this center. We had a low vision screening and giving out devices, and also computer training programs for the visually impaired. And we very soon found out that the people who are coming to the center came from very underprivileged sections, and they could not even afford to pay nominal fees for the devices and services.
As the volume of patients increased, we realized very quickly that we needed to mobilize funds to meet the growing demand. And that's when we decided to approach our friends and family in the US and in India. And we were very grateful that so many of them came forward to, and enthusiastically support the cause of VisionAid because they were inspired by the mission. We call this our VisionAid family. And over the past 20 years, we are immensely grateful and feel blessed that this journey has brought us in contact with so many socially minded and philanthropically minded individuals, volunteers, donors, supporters who have helped VisionAid reach where it is today.
When Prashant and I saw one of VisionAid's galas, we were extremely impressed because we got to know about the work of VisionAid, the work of Revati and Ram. And it was a very deeply personal thing for us because my late father-in-law, Kripasagar Rao, was an eye surgeon. And my mother-in-law and my father-in-law spent years in providing service to the visually impaired. So we wanted to do something more substantial, and we wanted to help Revati and Ram achieve their goal. So we decided to establish a center in LV Prasad Institute in Hyderabad in my late father-in-law and my mother-in-law's name. And I want to congratulate Revati and Ram for the way they have scaled their organization and their work and how much they have grown as an organization. And I think they're doing fantastic work, extraordinary work. Congratulations, and I wish you the best, and for all the joy and meaning that you're bringing to the visually impaired people. Congratulations, and I wish you the best.
As Anuradha said, this cause of VisionAid was deeply personal to us, and we invested in a center at LV Prasad Eye Institute. For those that don't know, LV Prasad Eye Institute is the 7th ranked research institution in the world. They're above many great universities and foundations here. And VisionAid took our contribution and invested in glasses for the visually impaired, severely visually impaired. And those glasses were seen on Indian Idol when a blind singer, partially blind singer, was on the stage. So you see the bang for the buck, what we've done. We put a small amount of money, what we consider as a small amount of money, and that went and created major change across so many people. As givers, as contributors to nonprofits, we always worry about where does this dollar go? How much do they stretch with it? And I can put my hand on my heart and say the best organization we've invested in so far is VisionAid. They have been extraordinary in terms of what the value that they have driven out of our investment and the numbers of people that they have altered the trajectories of their lives. We're very proud of Ram and Revati, and we wish VisionAid very good luck with whatever they do in the future.
It has been my honor to be associated with such an organization like VisionAid. Ram, Raju and Revati, they are the foundation of our organizations. I have been involved in many organizations, maybe 10. But why I like VisionAid the most? Because it touches the people who are deprived. They are semi-blind. They are blind. In India, millions of people are suffering from this. So this was started by Mr. M.S. Raju, who was 2 years my senior in IIT Kharagpur, and he is Ram Raju's father. I am in good of him, making such an organization. Thousands of people we are training in India. Computers, we train in business, we give them gadgets, we give them gadgets to read the scripts and everything, and then get jobs.
Over the years, we have been fortunate to hire a few graduates from VisionAid in our AI labs in India, both Chennai and Mumbai. We have found these employees to be very tenacious and always driven to perform their best. They contribute to building AI models, they build user interfaces, they do deep analytics, all the work that their visually able colleagues do. We are looking forward to hiring more graduates from VisionAid in future.
The most important thing about Vision 8, which I have been impressed with, is that everybody is so selfless. They are totally selfless. They are doing such a great job in India that sometimes my heart melts that how can some people give their life for a cause, because cause of Vision 8 is to help people. Glad to inform that by our training in computers, in business, and also in walking, and also learning how to do things, they have gotten jobs after their training in some of the very, very reputed organizations like Microsoft, like Infosys, and others.
First of all, I would like to congratulate Vision 8 on their 20th anniversary. The hard work the team, Revati, Ram, Vinahanda, Lalit, they put in, and rest of their team put in to make Vision 8 a very successful organization for the visually impaired people, helping them develop skills, make them marketable, but more than that, to make them self-confident so they can be part of the community, part of the society. So congratulations to Vision 8 team on their 20th anniversary. I've been involved with Vision 8 since a long time. The reason I got involved with Vision 8 was because in my young age, I myself had an eye problem, which luckily got solved, and over the years I have no issue with that. But Vision 8 is very dear to me. I feel that people who are vision impaired, they need help, and organizations like Vision 8 can help them and can help them build self-confidence, just like me, that I got the self-confidence once my own vision problem was solved.
So when I think of Vision 8, I go back to the time when I would ask, or when I heard about it as what is visually impaired, and immediately would assume that it was blind. Yes, I mean, it's a big disability to have low vision and have a vision impairment. It's one of the most important of our five senses. But the people who are vision impaired, they do not see like how we see. But the big point is that they do have other normal capabilities, and they can do other normal things with some assistance. And that's what Vision 8 makes happen. And they have touched about 20,000 lives just in the past year. And it gives us immense satisfaction to see that what Vision 8 is able to do by changing and enhancing the lives of all these people. If I have to summarize Vision 8 in 2 sentences, Vision 8 would be a light switch for thousands and thousands of people who struggle with multiple forms and varying types of blindness. It is a gift that allows them to live with independence and dignity. It is estimated that there are about 30 million plus people, visually impaired people, across India. So the need for assistance is profound, and majority of these people are, I would say 90% according to some data, are middle or low income. And visually impaired people face manifold challenges, barrier to literacy, employment, proper health care or proper vision care, lack of resources, and to this, and to add social stigma, it's very difficult for the visually impaired folks to overcome. And with some assistance, aid, education, training, which Vision 8 is providing, is and we are seeing the success with many, many success stories that have been shared, that these people can be living in the society and thrive in society. We are passionate, many of us like us who are passionate about supporting Vision Aid. We find immense gratification, satisfaction in seeing the enhancement in the lives of these visually impaired people. They're making a big impact, and we are really feel great hearing about all the success stories and the lives that have living really well once they have received the aid, the skills training, the job training, or employment opportunities. And we hope the last 20 years we have come this far. Vision Aid has done tremendously well, and we hope and wish them for them to touch and continue to grow and be successful for the next many years to come.
So I echo everything what Preeti has said earlier. And a story came to my mind. I was thinking about it as I was driving. When FDR passed away, President Roosevelt and his caravan was going through actually middle America, and there was a rural area. And there was a man who was crying and very sad and bowed his head to FDR's caravan as it was going on. His body was being carried. And a reporter was there, and he asked that individual, did you know him? And the answer he actually gave was, no, I didn't know him, but FDR knew me. Typically, it's other way around. And that, in my mind, is probably the perfect analogy that all these folks who are visually impaired, they are convinced that Vision Aid knows them, and that Vision Aid is out there to help them, that help is on the way, that there are brighter days ahead. And it's that hope that Vision Aid has provided, granted that it's a long march and many more to be covered, but all the volunteers, organizers, contributors, they may not be known to the last mile, to the forgotten man who is visually impaired, but he or she knows that Vision Aid is there, and that flame is being kept alive by all the work that folks have put into Vision Aid together to make it bring it this far. And I genuinely believe in the years ahead that the best service to humanity is to give hope and execute on that hope and keep that hope alive. And that exactly in my mind is what Vision Aid does. So it's the best job they could have done. So I want to thank all the volunteers, organizers, and contributors for making that happen.
Two things that drew us to Vision Aid. One was the cause itself. And my father had lost sight in one of his eyes, and we didn't discover it until much later. And if we had an organization that helped us identify that he was going through an issue, maybe we could have done something about it. That was one. So blindness, loss of sight, vision resonated a lot with us. The second is the organization itself. We love the fact that Ram, Revati, Saeed Ali, and others have given so much of their time. They're so passionate, and that we're reaching so many people in India. And I think that those two things drew us to the organization. So I've had quite a number of discussions with Vision Aid on what Pratima and I see as the future direction for Vision Aid relative to the enormous need that we have in India. We're doing a fantastic job. We as Vision Aid is doing a fantastic job of opening centers across the country and helping. And we've been to the centers, and they're just doing a fabulous job. But we're not going to move the needle if we don't find ways of scaling. And one really powerful initiative is the initiative they have rolled out, where they give out phones with tremendous the smart glasses. I think smart vision is what it is called, which has an iPhone paired with a glass that has a AI-powered device that helps blind people navigate their way around, helps them read, and so on. And I think that's a good example of an innovation that Vision Aid sponsored, maybe even funded to some degree. And I see many more innovations like that would be my recommendation for Vision Aid in the future. AI is going to change every walk of life. And I think there is a lot of good that AI can do if it is harnessed properly. And here is a case, the case of sight. I think has AI. There's just enormous potential. I think potential is in multiple ways, multiple areas. One is the tactical issues that people with low vision or loss of sight have, which is to get around, to be able to read, and so on. The other is more neurological, biological, where maybe we can have restoration therapeutics or restoration type surgery, maybe restoration type implants and the likes, which can be driven by AI, and maybe people can even regain sight. So I think AI could help us achieve potentially in the future. It can go as far as that. I think even just tactical innovations like the device that Vision Aid rolls out, the Smart Vision, that is tactical, that will be a tremendous help today, to all the way to perhaps helping people recover their sight.
Having eyesight is a privilege that we just never even think about. We just take it for granted. But for those who are born without eyesight or who lose it along the way, I can only imagine how challenging life must be for them. In spite of being very capable, they are not able to, they face a lot of challenges in life, especially if they come from rural or underprivileged background, because they are often not even aware of the options or the resources that are available to them. And even if they are, they may not be able to afford them. Vision 8 has a very holistic and comprehensive approach to this problem, starting early with early intervention, and then providing education and medical and technological assistance and many other services. They enable the visually impaired to become aware and and have opportunities to learn and grow and become independent and lead a very productive and dignified life. So this we thought was very inspiring, and this is what attracted us to become a part of Vision 8.
I am living in Boston for the last 50 plus years. So over the years, I have had the opportunity of associating with several non-profit organizations. One cause, I always believe in the blind students, blind people, how to make their life better. So having gone through some of my friends who are blind when we were growing up, it has impact on me and want to be helpful to them. So when we have the public functions happening in the early 14, 15 time period, I used to see Ramaraju sitting alone, one person and a couple of other people from Lexington. Didn't know much what exactly he's trying to do, but as I come to know his organization he built along with Revati and Puranji and other friends of mine, so I felt that it is something I can support. Independent of that, I support separate organizations in India, and I talk about another time. But this Vision 8 involvement in students' life, how they teach the technologies and make them eligible for jobs, and participating in the giving the tools for them to behave, lead the life much better, such impressed me. So I'll continue to support as long as they are doing such a great work. And their collaboration, opening offices in India, centers in India, is a very positive thing.
I talked to Revati. You have all the centers in the south, so why not in the north? So she said, yes, sure, you find a place and we will do it. So we were looking for the place, and then we found this Shroff Hospital who gave us the place to do it. So that was really good. And the results are very satisfying. We just visited the center this February. We went there, we saw the students, and some of them graduated there, and that makes your, the best thing you could do for them. Seeing them, the way they are doing their jobs,
their resilience and hard work. They want to be somebody in the society, and they are doing that. So I think if that happens, that makes us happy and satisfying. And another thing I wanted to add, that when children are born blind or low vision, it's not their fault. They also have to live their life. That's how they came. But if nothing can be done to improve that, then comes the vision aid, aiding the vision. And that's what vision aid does. And I thank Ram and Revati for starting this institution and let us help the people.
I was introduced to Vision Aid about 6 years ago by Puran Tang, and I thought to myself that my father, who was in ill health at that time and was blind for last half of his life of 90 years, I should help people with vision problems. And thereafter, I talked to one of my friends, and he told me, Ram, this is so important for an institution like Vision Aid, and there is none existing in Delhi. I was kind of surprised, and then I made up my mind for sure that we will do that. Thereafter, we found a place near our home in Daryaganj, Shroff Hospital, which has been there for many, many years. And actually, when my father was losing the eyesight many, many years ago, I took him there, I remember.
I have always been very moved by the challenges faced by visually impaired people. And so when I saw the Vision Aid's mission of enabling, educating, and empowering the visually impaired, it very moved me to join the organization. I was privileged to serve in those years, a very small organization for 7 long, productive years. And in those 7 years, we made a huge change in the areas that were dear to us and were in sync with our mission. Initially, it was in the southern part of India, in Visakhapatnam, but my job was to enhance the reach of the organization and its programs to benefit people all across the country. So we brought it from Visakhapatnam to Delhi, UP, and parts of Mumbai and Pune. So this was one aspect of it, number one. Number two, from a very small organization which had little funding, we had to increase our funding to be able to reach those people. So we put in a lot of effort, and luckily for us, our New England area is filled up with people who are genuinely concerned about people and want to give to noble causes, and we got their support. Number three, initially we were only looking at programs that were in schools of trying to find out what the eye diseases were. But later on, we expanded to a diversified program whereby we could help people with soft skills, like how to face an interview board, how to speak English, how to learn skills that can find them employment, like Microsoft Office, Excel, and so on. And at the same time, how to sit for examinations that can offer them government jobs. And with the advancements in technology that we saw happening in this area, there were many gadgets that came up that were able to help the people who are blind or visually impaired to benefit from them. So our job became to make sure that we were able to reach these people and give them the training. First of all, the de-training, because they were trained to be working in different ways. So with this technology, we were able to have them de-train, then retrain in using those technologies.
Vision Aid is a super organization. I wound up being invited to join it by Lalit Sudan, who's the president. And I'm ever so grateful to him because I think it helps us direct our funding to channels which I think are appropriate for the benefit of the visually impaired in India. My initial funding was a small amount, a few $1,000s. But after I went to India and was invited to the Shroff Center to physically hand over these glasses, I really got moved. It was a very, very touching experience. And I felt that I could do a lot more to contribute in my small way. I got my family also involved in it. and therefore we have been helping to set the tone for philanthropy in India, which unfortunately is lacking. So that's basically where I started my involvement in VisionAid. I'm on the board of advisors and extremely happy to help in any which way I can.
Even though I knew the VisionAid programs, but it was such mesmerizing and heartwarming and humbling experience to visit L.V. Prasad Eye Institute in Hyderabad and Sankara Netralaya in Chennai, where they have partnered with these organizations for the VisionAid centers. They do rehabilitation services as well as occupational therapy for visually impaired and blind who cannot afford to pay for services. So we offer them free or highly subsidized services, such as computer training. We also record voices from volunteers who read the textbooks so that the visually impaired and blind can learn from those textbooks, from the digitally recorded voices. We also saw the occupational therapy being done at Sankara Netralaya, where they really teach these students how to manage day-to-day life. We saw a lot of devices, as well as we saw the open grounds where they could play and learn from those devices so they can live independently. The other things we noticed was a vocational center at L.V. Prasad Institute where the blind people were making bags which are being sold to the hospital staff at a very nominal cost. It was amazing to see, even having no eyes, they were able to make such beautiful bags. At Sankara Netralaya, we saw a 1-year-old child who was being taught how to identify different colors. So they were using different objects to show her the colors and using the torchlight as well. It was such a humbling experience to see all these programs in action, and it's really something else when you really see it, being done. So we were totally impressed. My husband and I were really impressed with all the programs being done at both of these centers.
When I first met the VisionAid founders and the group, they were a small group with a big vision and, of course, a great cause. And I realized that they actually had everything. They had, first of all, the vision, the plan, the programs in place in India. What they really did not have at that time was no one knew about all the good work that they were doing. So my goal was, when I joined the team, I wanted to make sure that VisionAid became a household name. So that is how I set my goal when I joined VisionAid and took over as the second president. And I stayed president for 6 years. When I was president of VisionAid, I was talking to Ranjini Saigal and Chandrika Govardhan, and we came up with this idea of a dance production, not so much to raise funds at that time, but more to raise awareness of the work that VisionAid was doing. It was such a success that we decided to continue. And the next year, it was a full-fledged Broadway-style production where we involved more dance teachers and more students. And year after year, it grew. And I'm so happy to see that VisionAid continues this tradition of bringing really high-quality productions year after year to the Boston area.
I am born to an amazing father who did incredible things in his life despite being visually challenged. Thus, the idea of or associating myself with an organization that works with people who have low vision was very, very special to me. This, combined with my passion for dance, really brought me to VisionAid. It all started when, in the beginning, I, along with my student, Amuda Paranisamy, created a wonderful dance drama piece called Ramayana, A Visual Journey. We were looking for an organization to support using this piece as the fundraising effort. Amuda's mother happened to be on the board of directors of VisionAid, and thus, as we could say, it's a cosmic karmic coincidence, Ramayana and my passion for vision came together, and we ran the first ever fundraiser for VisionAid through classical dance. The VisionAid fundraiser was very successful, and the organizers asked us to do more. And the next year, we were very fortunate to meet the great choreographer, Madurai Muralidharan. I, along with my dear dancing friend, Jayanti Gatraju, was very interested to work with choreographer Muralidharan to produce something that is really beautiful while it supports a good cause. And of course, VisionAid being very close to my heart, we approached VisionAid again and we put together this magnum opus called Krishna at that time, which then became a kind of a platform that continued year after year as a fundraising effort for VisionAid. Very unique part about these dance creations under the direction of Madurai Muralidharan was the fact that we could bring together dancers and teachers from different dance schools and put them together on one stage. So the joy that we had was not just of raising funds for a great organization, but also coming together as dancers and putting together a fantastic production that is almost like a Broadway-style Bharatanatyam creation. The creation year after year has been a great success, and it has helped VisionAid grow step by step. When my father passed away a few years ago, it was also my honor to create a VisionAid center in his name in Pune. Thus, it started with my father, it continues with my father, and it is my hope that through these dance productions, which have continued beyond my involvement in those productions, that we will be bringing much needed impact to those that are visually challenged, so that people like my father who have great potential can go ahead and accomplish their potential and live a beautiful life.
Thank you for this opportunity to present the dancer side of things. When we started 16 years ago on the group productions, the first thing that came to mind was to bring in the Indian New England dance community together. So as the saying goes, right, if you want to go faster, you go alone. But if you want to go more sustained, you involve other people. So that's what Ranjini and I did. And we started off with about 20 dancers, 20 or 25 dancers in Krishna in 2009. And now last time we had 55 dancers. And this time we have 40 plus. And all it is that passion for dance. And we start to sweat away from about middle of April. And then when middle of June comes, where the children are all off school, and that's when fun really starts. So if you were to walk into a rehearsal, you will see that there's like 30 dancers just dancing away.
In the past 20 years, as you all know, we have supported 100,000 people, a big milestone with very customized services, because the visually impaired is not a cookie cutter service. We have to customize each and individual service for people. In the next few years, as a matter of fact, in the next 3 years, we plan to support 100,000 people and many more in the years to come. We will provide support to them with better services, better ability, reach more remote areas. Today we have 47 locations. In the next many years, we want to double or triple the capabilities with better services, better partners, and grow support.
When we first started our VisionAid journey, we were running from one location, serving a few hundred people a year. And thanks to the efforts of so many people, both in India and here in the US, we have been able to serve 100,000 people over the past 20 years, now running across 47 different Vision 8 resource centers. As we look ahead, I'm sure that we will be able to do much more. Today, we have an eminently qualified leadership team which has many leaders in our community, and our collective vision is to do the next 100,000 in just the next 3 years. And I'm sure that with all of the support of the community, both here as well as in India, we will be able to accomplish that.